Hello everyone, it's Sandra and welcome to today's video. I always feel like a newscaster anytime I'm on camera with my blazer, but it's just been so cold. I'm wearing my blazer. I'm welcoming any bit of extra warmth I can get, and also I am an elder millennial. I came of age in the business casual to the club era. I have amassed a lot of great blazers in my time. I'm going to wear them and enjoy them to their full potential. So welcome to today's video. I wanted to talk to you about some makeup products that I've used up. Also some stuff that I'm decluttering. I kind of want a fresh start. I've also spent a lot of the holiday season decluttering and streamlining things, and I didn't film most of it, but I do have some new stuff that I decided I'm letting go of, and I saved them to talk about them on camera before I let them go. And without further ado, let's get started with foundations. I did use up some foundations. These two, absolutely love them. The Chantecaille Future Skin foundation, I had this in the shade Vanilla. Such a beautiful foundation, very natural, very skin-like finish, subtle hydration. It just looked like fresh skin. It looked undetectable on the skin. My only grievances with this foundation are the packaging. The jar packaging just drove me crazy. And the shade range. The shade range is just really, really lacking. I keep hoping Chantecaille get their shade range together. I would love to see a wider range of depth. I would also like to see better undertones. I feel like there are no good neutral undertones. Shade Vanilla is a good match in terms of depth, but even though it's described as a neutral color on the website, it still pulled really peachy on my skin. So I would mix it with a blue color corrector that I bought from e.l.f. and that way I was able to get my perfect color match. I also used up the Chanel Le Beige Water Fresh Complexion Touch. I had this in the shade B30. This was a really good color match for me. A little bit deeper than my current skin tone, but I was able to sheer it out in such a way that it just ended up looking really nice. Like the undertone was really nice and neutral. Absolutely love this formula, especially for fall and winter. My skin is combination oily, but it does get dehydrated in the colder seasons. This was just a nice extra dose of hydration and nice medium coverage. I don't love it as much as I love the Water Fresh tint. That one is a lot more sheer. That one is one of my favorite summer complexion products, but this was a nice addition to the range, and it's a product that I probably would repurchase again at some point. I'm not in a rush to repurchase it. It's not one of those products I can't live without, but I liked it enough to repurchase it at one point in the future. I used up my Makeup Forever HD Skin Foundation. This was great. This used to be one of my favorite foundations, but this has since been dethroned. I like the Lisa Eldridge skin tint better. I like the Dior foundation stick better. So this is no longer a top contender, but this was still a really, really good foundation that I really enjoyed, used it up. I had this in the shade 1N14, which was a good depth, but even though, again, it claims to be neutral, this was just too yellow. A bit too yellow for my skin. Become a lot more discerning when it comes to color. Honestly, color match is so important, and it's half the battle with these foundations. Then we have these two foundations that I am decluttering. I will be passing them along. The Guerlain Terracotta Le Teint foundation. I really tried. I really tried to make this happen. This foundation and my skin just don't get along. I love the way this looks when it's freshly applied. After about 2 hours, it just looks so cakey and heavy and makeup-y on my face. Even if I'm just using one pump, it just emphasizes texture. It just doesn't look good on my skin. It doesn't wear well on my skin. 9 times out of 10, I try to wear this, it looks bad. The odd time, it ends up looking good, and it's just become a problem in my makeup collection. It's not a solution. Like if I have to think so hard about, oh my God, okay, I want to use this product, but I can't just put it on. I have to do certain things. I have to do this and this and this and this. I have to try this and this and this. I can only wear it with this and this. That's not fun for me anymore. And the purpose of makeup for me is to be a fun, creative outlet. I don't want to be problem solving when it comes to my makeup routine. I do enough problem solving as is in my daily life. I don't need to also have to be problem solving constantly when it comes to putting makeup on. One of my friends really wants to try this, and I think the shade would work well for her as well, so I'll be passing this along to her. The shade match was great, 2N worked really well for me, but unfortunately this formula and my skin just didn't get along. And then the other foundation I'll be passing along is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. Now this is a beautiful foundation. It's a classic. It's one of the most popular high-end foundations on the market. The issue is just the color. The color match is not great for me anymore. I have this in the shade 3.5, which is light to medium with warm olive undertones. And this color only works for me in the summertime, but this foundation formula doesn't work for me in the summertime because I'm a lot more oily in the summer, and I would just rather give this to somebody that can enjoy this shade and this formula year round. For me, I could only use it in the summertime if I'm just going out in the evening for just a few hours. It just had a very niche, narrow use case for me. Would I repurchase this? I don't know. At some point, I probably would buy this again if I felt nostalgic for it. They do make mini bottles of it now. I would definitely have to get a different shade for me. Maybe shade 4 would be a better match, either 4 or maybe 4.5, I don't know. But yeah, the shade ranges are funny because 3.5 is darker than 4 or 4.5. It's just sitting there, it's sitting unused because it just doesn't match me. And I used to be able to mix this with stuff, but right now I don't have any formulas that I can mix this with to get me where I need it to go. So I'll be parting ways with this, but not because I don't love it or I don't think it's a great product. It's just not great for me right now. And the two Complexion products that I ended up buying that are newer are a repurchase of the Givenchy Prisme Libre Concealer. I love this as a foundation. This is just a solid medium coverage product that I like to wear all over the face. I don't like this as a concealer under my eyes, but I do like to use this as a base if I want a really beautiful perfected base for an evening or something. This kind of fills in the gap that Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk would have had in my collection, except this I can wear year round, and I have a great color match in the shade N250. So this is just going to be my go-to special occasion, medium coverage, natural looking base. Natural but perfected looking base. So I'm happy to have this in my life again. And then I also bought the Haus concealer in a lighter shade. I usually use the shade 21, but again, it's been so cold, so gloomy. Shade 21 matches my skin tone, but I wanted something a little bit brighter for my under eyes. I love this concealer for the under eyes, so I got shade 11. It's the under eye concealer that I'm wearing today, just for a little bit of extra brightening, and I love it. It's described as a light shade with neutral undertones, and it's great. So happy to have this as a slightly brighter option because, yeah, all my other under eye concealers that I have, they just match my skin tone, but they're not brightening shades. So I was in the market for a more brightening shade. Let's do some cheek product declutters next. I have the Westman Atelier contour stick in the shade Biscuit. This unfortunately went bad. It smells rancid, stale. Somebody asked me, how do I know if a product has gone bad, if I could describe the scent. I am very sensitive to scents. This used to be completely unscented. It used to smell like nothing. And now it just smells like, Play-Doh. If you've ever had Play-Doh, if you have kids and you play with them with Play-Doh, or if you remember playing with Play-Doh as a child, you remember just the smell of Play-Doh after it just kind of sits out and kind of dries out for a while. It just starts to have that plasticky, stale scent. That's what this smells like now. This did last quite a long time. I think I bought this in 2020 or 2021. It lasted a lot longer than I was expecting it to, especially since Westman Atelier is a clean beauty brand and those products tend to go bad a bit faster. Nothing wrong with this product. This is great. I just don't really contour that often, if hardly at all, to be honest. It got to the point, even when I was using it when it was still good, that I was just using this just to use it, to use it up, not because I really felt like contouring or if I needed to contour. As I'm getting older, my face is becoming more gaunt. I find that I don't want to emphasize that with contour. I don't want to add more shadows to my face. I've already got plenty of shadows happening. I'm decluttering these two blushes just because they're too dewy for me. And again, they've become problems, not solutions. It just got to the point where every single time I would put these on, I didn't like how dewy they were, and then I would have to powder on top of them. I'd always have to either powder on top or use a powder blush on top, and I have other blushes that I would rather be using that I don't feel the need to do that with, so I will be passing these along. This is the, I love this color so much. This is the Finding Ferdinand Latte shade from the Summer Abroad collection. Such a beautiful, neutral, nudie kind of pink shade, but this is so slippery, so dewy. This is even more dewy than, even more dewy and more balmy than the Makeup by Mario. This is the Makeup by Mario Perfect Pink. A beautiful pink shade, but it's just a bit too dewy. And honestly, ever since I got the CL liquid blush in the shade January, I've just been using this instead, and they're pretty much the same color. They do the same thing in my makeup collection, but the CL just has a natural skin finish. It doesn't feel as dewy and as balmy and emollient on my skin. If you're somebody with drier skin, like, I'm always joking with my friend Vanessa because she loves dewy, balmy products. She keeps saying to me, I wish I was oily. I don't need any extra help in the oil department. My oil glands are overactive as is. So anytime I have a product that is too dewy for me, I tell her, okay, get ready because you're going to love this. And I usually just send them to her. The only dewy blush that doesn't bother me, that still works for me, is the Merit blush. This is in the shade Fox. This color is absolutely perfect. I love this so much. This is a dewy blush, but it feels lighter weight. It's not quite as dewy and as balmy as these two. So this is the maximum amount of dew that I can handle, basically. For fall and winter, I love this shade, so I can justify keeping this one blush. I absolutely love this color. Is it my favorite blush formula of all time? No. I wish this had a satin finish and that it had more longevity, but as a quick throw on blush, bronzer, highlighter, all-in-one cheek product for fall and winter, this kind of fits the bill. I should probably look into the Rhode blushes. Those seem like up my street. Those seem like something I would enjoy. I just really don't love the packaging, and I don't love stick blushes. I would rather have a pot. I keep hoping that Chanel release more shades in their cream blush formula because I love the Chanel cream blush formula. I just don't like the shades that they have right now. They're all a bit too warm for my liking, but I digress. I also used up a couple of lipsticks. The Chantecaille Lip Chic in the shade Honeysuckle. Oh my god, this was one of my favorite limited edition Lip Chic colors, and the Chantecaille Lip Chic's 100% one of my favorite lipstick formulas. It's one of those balmy, shiny lipstick formulas. It's just a joy to reapply throughout the day, so I really enjoyed this. And then a very similar formula at a more affordable price point. This is the Romand Glasting Melting Balm. I had this in the shade number 12, which is called, let's see, Veiled Rose. This is a really beautiful, cool-toned, mauvey rose shade. These have a very strong, the Chantecaille, by the way, they have a vanilla scent. These have a strong kind of peachy, fruity scent, but it's like a strong synthetic peachy scent. I personally like it. I don't find it off-putting. And these feel great on the lips. If you are a fan of the YSL Candy Glaze lip formula, this is similar to that. It's just a thick, balmy, glossy, pigmented lipstick, lip balm, lip gloss hybrid. So this is really nice. I ordered this from Yes Style. The one new lip product that I recently purchased, that I have been loving so much. This was a recommendation from my friend Vanessa. She loves this lip liner. And I picked this up last time I was at Sephora, and it's the Makeup by Mario Smoky Pink. This is the lip liner that I'm wearing today, and this is the perfect lip liner color for my current natural lip. It just complements my natural lip color so well. It's the perfect lip contour shade for me. It's kind of like if Lisa Aldridge 2C and 0N had a baby. It's a little bit more, it's got a bit more of like a mauvey brown to it than Lisa Aldridge 2C. But it's the perfect cooler toned sculpting pink shade. So if you're finding that a lot of the lip liners right now are pulling too warm on you, give Makeup by Mario Smoky Pink a try. It is so good. The formula is also amazing. It's the perfect lip liner color for the lip look that I'm into right now. So I'm super happy to have this in my life. The other two new-ish products that I've been testing are two new loose powders. I ended up buying the Makeup by Mario loose powder, and I got the shade Fair Pink, the Surreal Skin Soft Blur Setting Powder. And I like this, but I don't love this. Some people compare this to the Givenchy. This was not similar to the Givenchy at all, especially under the eyes. This was so drying, and so, yeah, I did not like the way this looked under my eyes. But this is really nice, used in very small targeted amounts on the T-zone to kind of blur and mattify. It's nice, but yeah, not the best powder that I've ever used, but it's fine. It's okay. For me, this did not live up to the hype, but it's something that I will continue using. This is something that I have to be very careful with, because if I overdo it, it can look really cakey and really dry really fast. This was a really pleasant surprise. This is the limited edition Hello Kitty Wet n Wild loose setting powder in the shade Pink. I think it's called Pink or Light Pink. This is limited edition. This is a different formula from the regular Wet n Wild loose powder, and this is beautiful. This is actually quite similar to the Givenchy in the texture. This is beautiful for setting and kind of blurring the under eye area. The only thing is that it's not quite as brightening as the Givenchy. The Givenchy in the shade number 3 is a lighter pink. It was more brightening. This is a darker, it's a darker pink than the Givenchy slightly. So I don't get any brightening benefits from it, but it is a really nice setting powder for the under eyes, and it's less than $10. So I have been really enjoying this. My big disappointment of the month is the fact that my Chanel blush and eye palette, I think this is from the spring 2023 collection, this guy over here, this has gone bad. Unfortunately, this smells so bad now, and it used to smell like nothing, and it just doesn't perform well anymore either. It's chunky and patchy now. Things went downhill really quick. So if you did buy this when it came out, so it's been close to 2 years of me having this. If you bought this, check it out. Make sure you give it a smell. Wear it, see if it's still performing well for you, because for me, unfortunately, it's not performing well anymore, and it has a very distinct stale scent that was not present before. Contemplating keeping this palette just because this is such a good travel mirror, so maybe I'll just use this as my travel mirror. Maybe I can pop the blushes out. I know Chanel sell a mirror individually, but yeah. This is just such a bummer, because this was the perfect travel palette for me. I could just pack this with me. The mirror is perfect. Such a nice big mirror. I can see my whole face, and the colors are beautiful. I was able to use this palette as a blush and eyeshadow palette. Absolutely love this. These colors are gorgeous. In its fairness, it does have an 18-month Best Buy date, so it's been past, it's past those 18 months. It's one thing I have noticed lately, even with the traditional luxury brands like Chanel Beauty, Dior, as they're leaning more into natural natural beauty. I know with Dior especially, a lot of the stuff they've reformulated to have more natural ingredients, and with that, I think they changed some of the preservatives that they used to use, because Chanel blushes used to be indestructible. I had a Chanel blush for close to 10 years and it still smelled fine, it still performed fine, but I know they got rid of their old blushes and they've been reformulated a couple of times since. So as these reformulations are happening, I am noticing, and other friends are noticing as well, that the shelf lives are shorter than we're used to. Just something to keep in mind, something to check. And I'm very curious, if you also have this palette, give it a smell, try it on your face, let me know how it's performing, because yeah, for me, this unfortunately went bad, and I'm so sad about it because this was the perfect travel palette, and now I'm going to have to, I don't know, look for something else. They do have another one in the current spring collection, but that one's all highlighters and I'm not interested in that. So just thought I'd share with you. I'm very curious about your experience in the comments. We'll be chatting in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.